pretty good.
Christopher, thanks for meeting me here today, this afternoon.
Yeah, I had fun last, so this should be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we talked about it a couple ways. We're going to do the video and everything so it works out good for everybody, and so we're ready to do that. And where would you like to begin?
Let me see. Well, let me see. Well, first I can always look at your energy first to do that session. So let's see. We've had some trouble here. I had to actually create a hat with foil in it to protect my head. Yeah. Oh, I see what's disrupting the internet connection. It was my own. Okay. Turn that off. Anyway, let me see here. All right. Yeah, we make large amounts of orgonite here, and if you get too in place, it can overwhelm your senses. So,
you mentioned that. I've turned off my phone as well.
Okay. Let's see. You got in your thymus there's some kind of attachment there. So I'm going to. It's a small thing. It's not big.
Is the thymus in your throat?
Below the throat, yeah. There's a new chakra that's forming there in people. So, see here. Okay, I'm asking guides to clear this up. There's a little bit of fuzz psychically here, so let me see here. Okay, there we go. Clear. What is this in your... There we go. Now clear enough for me. I asked guides for transmission.
Excellent.
Okay. Okay, third eye is actually pretty open. Okay. See, the pineal gland will put a projection out of the third eye. It looks like a big eyeball to me. So, let me see here. That's why you see the old paintings and the old artwork with, like, the people with the third eye on their forehead.
Yes. There's a lot of truth in this old Renaissance artwork and stuff, isn't there?
Oh, yes. Okay, now the frequency is going up. Thank you. There we go. Okay. You got something going on either side of your heart muscle here. What is this? Let's see. Oh, something disguising itself as light. Okay. Joanna saw this in me the other day, where my sight was fuzzy, and she saw a light beam around my forehead, and she looked closer, and it was really like a snake entity that was trying to go around the outside of me. So it was disguising itself as a beam of light.
Fascinating.
Oh yeah, here goes the frequency. You got elements of silver in your energy core. That's actually a good thing. Let me see here. Yeah, what's very interesting here, I didn't see this the last time we spoke, but in your code you have different variations that aren't human. Let me see here. Not because I'm able to read your genetic Akashic, it's saying differences of non-human races. Let me see here. Thing in the blood that's different as well. Let's see. Not sure which alien race this is. Let's see. This could be one I don't know yet. Let's see. See, everybody has a small percentage of like different alien genomes, but there's a larger percentage with you. Let me see here. Let me see. Okay, yeah, there's like definitely some silver in there. I'm gonna make sure like alien technology versus energy currents. So let me see here. Okay. there's silver in your energy and blue and purple, but there is some alien tech that got in there. You've had contact with insectoid recently. Let me see here. That's surprising. Being like you're Texas, yes. Correct? Yeah, that's surprising. You generally don't see them there.
And you were breaking up there a little bit, but I mean, I can hear you fine now. Did you say insectoids?
Yeah, insectoid, like bug type aliens. They look like big mantises. They walk around. They have the front end, they normally hang out along the coastline. Let's see.
Are you saying that they visited me? That's the part I didn't catch.
I'm sorry. Yes, they actually did visit you because I can see their use of their technology. Inside the cavity, I'm seeing these little triangle type things, and this tells me that they just shot into you. All they had to do was just touch. Let me see here. Or like a visitation from them would have felt like a burst of wind in your bedroom, like wow, and then gone. Let me see here. Let me see. I'm gonna have guides clean this up here. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, there is someone that's near you. I'm trying to see who this is. I'm gonna make sure this isn't a bad guy. Oh yeah, you're backing on me. Okay. Yeah, get out of here. All right. Something that etherically was trying to, telepathy was trying to stop me from doing it. Okay, yeah, I'm cleaning all this out. Some of my guides on my end were helping out with that. They cleared it up. And yeah, you have like an indigo purplish colored core, which means there is psychic ability there.
Fascinating.
Trying to determine what planetary origin you had prior to being in the reincarnation site. See. All I know is it seems like like I said when we spoke the first time, you had a mission you came in with to teach through example. So that would mean what? This narrows it down to a couple species. Let's see. This is interesting. I'm seeing This is interesting. I'm seeing a mix of two houses. What the houses are, you have the universal constant, which is science, technology, masculine, feminine energy. Then you have M, which is warrior and like wizard, like warrior and magic sides. And business has been integrated into that. You have the elemental house, which is elemental code like Sasquatch, elves, fae, all that. So you see, but I'm seeing a mixture of house influences.
Fascinating.
Which would mean that you came in as a changer, meaning if you have elements of yourself in all three houses, that you came in to actually change something in the energy. Here, let me see. I haven't determined which species you are. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to see if I'm going to look at a star and see where this takes me. Maybe to a place I've never heard of. So let's see. That kind of like source direct me to wherever this energy pet's taken me.
That sounds like an excellent way to do this. Should I have my eyes open or closed, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. Okay, because I'm just seeing a jumble of images in your Keswick element. Your recording, you were captured and thrown in reincarnation cycle. That means like Anunnaki, Archon, influence, AI influences would have thrown you into the reincarnation cycle. I've seen these guys, they have like a monk-looking guy with the elongated skull, and then they have these Grim Reaper-looking grays that are around them, with the black hood and the sickle-looking thing. That's where they got the idea for that from. And the guy, I think the taller one, has like usually this black orb, or had a black orb in it. They suck the soul energy out for the reincarnation cycle for their energy farming. Let's see, and I could feel this happened a long time ago, but it's kind of fuzzy as the planetary origins. You may have had origins within them too. Let's see. Could have been Maldek or one of like the 9 realms sort of thing. So let's see. That's where all the Norse myth and Greek myths come from. Was Maldek being like Asgard or the home of the gods, pretty much. And all the moons around it and such were the 9 realms. And the fact that it could drift in and out of dimensional layers and such. But I'm definitely picking up. The source didn't have to take me far. This was definitely Maldek. I'm trying to think how long ago. I'm seeing pre-explosion time, probably in the age before Maldek blew up. Let me see here. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely Maldek, or one of its moons. And it looks like you had a look similar to yourself, but you had a different color skin. It was like a bluish color. And I'm seeing like ears that go around and curl back, but but just with those features.
How do you spell Maldek?
It's A-L-D-E-K.
Maldek.
Okay. And that was this large super planet. It was a super Earth at one point as well, but the once famous is the large one that's now the asteroid belt. So
my home was destroyed, or the place of my origin was destroyed.
That's why I couldn't find it, the trailing off to nothing, and that usually means destroyed or alternate universe or something like that. So, and it traced it back. So it started to go back through time, and it traced it back to the Maldekian planet cluster.
I've been here for some time.
Yes, you definitely came in with a purpose, but you grabbed, it looks like, during the invasion when the spindly beings, or we call it, or the Anunnaki, came in and decided to lay waste to the whole system. And basically assimilate it like on Star Trek, destroyed what they could. They used, the AI took over the Maldekian planetary defense moons that are still in this system, by the way. They look like the Death Star. And the AI took it over and decided to use it on Mars next, and ripped the hell out of its atmosphere, and then eventually Atlantis, Egypt, and all that came after that. But let me see here. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm getting the goosebumps. So yeah, that's definitely your planetary origin. Same as me. That's where I originated from as well. So, and I'm trying to see which of race. I know there was a lot of elven races there. There were Norse giants, frost giants, a lot of different races. Even humans were there. So let me see here. Look, I found out the ancient land of Hyperborea was part of that as well. So, let me see. It looks like you on both of these things. The reason I brought up Hyperborea is I'm seeing post-explosion you ending up in Hyperborea. It looks like at some point. Looks like you had a strong presence of like Odin and them around you, like the Norse pantheon, like Thor and all of them.
Yes. I have runes tattooed on my body. Runes,
you have what?
Nordic runes tattooed on my body.
Okay, yeah, this is why planetary origin, where these things came from. Like I keep seeing around you, like you gave him counsel, or like you were like an advisor to him. Let's see, I'm gonna. Yeah, this is very interesting. It's like I recognize Odin, and I've actually interacted with him several times. So let me see here. You definitely were in his like kingdom, or like definitely like a nature advisor, or you know, like a wise person that would advise him on battle strategies and stuff like that. This means you're integrated into my own soul history in the same time frame. So, yeah, and Michael and all of them were there as well. See, Michael's one of Odin's children, and Enki and Enlil from.
Oh, fascinating.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I keep seeing a strong Odin presence, but I keep seeing this scene repeating, which means something is blocking you from accessing the knowledge from this. Maybe an entity has woven its way into that circle somewhere. If I see something skip, like this bad streaming type of thing, or the something, you know, messing around or going in a loop, that usually means something's trying to block or mess with it in some way. So I'm going to look in this scene and see if there's a demon or something hanging out. Oh yeah, definitely seeing a big red-eyed looking like djinn of some sort. I'm good. Okay, you're a big one. Okay. He has this big like horking staff and everything. That's he was standing in a fracture of time, preventing something for into some realization. So I'm going to knock you over. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to how I Jin. This is how I deal with Jin. This is why the whole silver energy was important. This is an energy they can't control. So what I do is I make sure these, what I call the silver flames, envelop them, become them. And I visualize that coursing through the form or their body, whatever they're in. And then I say at that point, I can actually command them to separate into elements. Like I say, you're separated into 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. And then I ask any other jinn around chained to that, so they all go with them. And then I ask the elemental code to absorb them all into the 4 elements, so that they no longer exist as jinn. They're just elements of nature at that point. So I got rid of him, and it looked like there were several small ones in there. But they literally can hide within a memory. Literally between tick and tock.
Wow, that's fascinating.
So, yeah, that's why there's such a pain in the butt to locate sometimes, because they're literally fought. So
their objective is to remain hidden.
Yeah, extremely camouflaged and hidden. They only out in the open if they have to like fight, but if you see them, they get very agitated and they will fight. So they're very old magic. You know, they have to be conquered too. Somebody literally has to say, "Okay, you Jin, go."
So does that mean that somebody sent that one to me?
It could to you in that time frame. It could have been there to assault you there, and it just trickled back here because it looked much stronger than it should have been. Because they're around now aren't big and be like that. They're like these little things that are more of an annoyance, like a fly or something like that, you know.
Well, I haven't been in a year, but I am a member of a secret society, and so it has, and I've been through some of their initiations, and so it's made me wonder if I've somehow picked up some attachments through that.
I don't doubt it, because these things can trickle through time. This thing could have also gone here backwards too. So back to your origin point. Well, so Okay, I got goosebumps to that. I'm getting both. Like there was something conjured there and here, and it kind of clocked the work. So what I would recommend is just looking any entanglements you may have picked up from being in these societies. You know, do you revoke any ties, contracts, or entanglements that you picked up while being a part of these secret societies, or any of their initiatives?
I hereby revoke that. I'll revoke any of that and all of that.
That cleared up your Akashic enough to where I could see more of your now. There we go. Now it opened up to like the whole Asgardian kingdom, like you were really the advisor to Odin himself. And like you sat or stood near that in his throne room. And so it seemed like this big hall that kind of arcs up this way and kind of crosses upwards towards the ceiling. I've actually seen the Asgardian, council chamber like this before. So the movies had it kind of close. The Marvel movies had it kind of close. But this has more of like a basket, like how some of the Viking structures look later, like and stuff like that. Kind of a large hall. Let me see. Oh yeah, I can hear my own voice echoing as I'm standing in this display. And it's like this place could take off like a spaceship if it wanted to. If the whole landmass could pick up and move. This very well could be. I believe this is the sky city that now orbits our planet. People called it also Olympus and Asgard in the past too. And I found out Hyperborea is the sky city. Oh, this makes sense. Let me see. Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely getting the goosebumps. It looks like you were trying to show Odin something about. I'm trying to hear the conversation here. You were advising him not to go to Saturn, not to engage Saturn. Like not to. There was too many dangers. Like he could have been trapped or killed or something. Let me see here. And he's like, you and him are kind of arguing a little bit, like, on strategy. There was something definitely heavily around Saturn that you were warning him about. And I know from doing a channeling with him, he did actually go to Saturn. And he battled some frost giants there that had become corrupt. And he did go, and he ended up infected with nanites, and he got it. And that's where some of his darker personas in history came from. He had double at one point. You were advising against that because you could see ahead and see what was planning for him. Let me see here. Yeah, that's definitely. I'm getting the confirmation goosebumps here. And what happened to you? How did you eventually go from Maldek to Hyperborea? I want to know. This whole scene's playing out just like a movie where Odin refusing to listen to you, and he just. Let me see here. This is interesting. It just looks very similar, like if you're watching one of the Marvel movies or something, where how some of the drama plays out. I'm looking at it like I'm a camera up in the corner of the building or something. Let me see here. And there, Odin slams the door behind. Okay, and looks like you didn't leave the phone room, and you were doing something his chair, like you were like leaving something for him, like on an arm pad or something. And let me see here. I'm gonna zip ahead here in time and see exactly what happened to you after he left. Like you went outside and watched him leave, and okay, then he went to battle with Saturn, and it looks like, you were trying not to get him to leave his post, because shortly after, it looks like this whole issue with Ragnarok started, where it was like the time and different battles and stuff like that. The whole Ragnarok thing is Maldek exploding and the wars that happened just previous. So also some of these giants and Norse gods got thrown into a repeat cycle where their energy was being siphoned off of little by little in a repeated wars over again. That happened here on Earth as well. But let me see here. Oh yeah, not specific. You watched him take off, and then eventually what happened to him on Saturn happened. He came back, some more war going on, and it looks like you managed to what? Oh, this is one I didn't expect. There's a part of the history that we've only just started to touch on. That the moon actually was more of like a Noah's Ark sort of thing. And before the AI took it over, and now it's like a soul trap deal. But with it, okay, let's see. Looks like you were putting together samples of things and sticking them in something. Let me see. Like you were putting like people and animal and temples on board this moon ship, and it literally you came with it, and then you released some of these animals and such on the Earth, and that part of Maldek then became ancient Hyperborea, and then you released some of these animals into like the Scandinavian area of the world. They were strange looking animals too. Some of them were primate looking, some of them were lizard looking, other ones were like horses or some like mule looking things. I'm seeing all sorts of different animals and people. To what? It looks like you had intimate knowledge of the inner workings of the moon ship, but because of explosion and because of the war and the fighting, and the weapons fire, its engine died, and it became permanently synced up with Earth's orbit after a while, and that's when he faces one way. You know, it won't spin because its engines won't. They don't work anymore. And the AI eventually took it over and turned it into an energy collection unit or some soul trap after a while. The enemy. It started out as something good, but it looks like you were taken into the reincarnation cycle in transit between the Earth and the Moon. Like you were trying to align the Moon so that it would augment nature here. Like it would create more diversity here. After the looks like the what I call world of magic was divided, which means the Earth was a super Earth time that was divided into zones by the bad guys. Zones we don't see, to where we can like we could put into different ones if we wanted to. This is where the whole flat Earth thing comes from, because the fragment we're living on is more of like a holographic-based life, but it's still physical, real. It's just that it's one fragment of a much larger globe, and it looks like you were trying to augment that particular piece we're living on, and the enemy then took over. Had taken over the world, and And then when it grabbed the moon, it grabbed your soul, and you got spit back down here sometime in the Viking age, it looks like. This was Odin and them were not around for a while. Let me see. Now it's going completely with you were with a band of Vikings that heavily worshipped Odin, but they were actually helping a white royal at the time, who's been long since dead. It's just he was the fake Odin or the fake Anu in history. And he was basically to get the Vikings to conquer everything around because some of these other cultures aligned with other alien cultures, or like some of their deities aligned were really from different alien cultures that didn't jive with the reptilian. Let me see here. It's this whole thing's playing out where your first incarnation was then prior you being this wise person, advisor to Odin, then you became this Viking warrior that was serving Odin, but didn't know you were serving this white royal. That you felt the connection to Odin, but you didn't know. Let me see.
Our worship or our praise is being hijacked somehow?
Yeah, aliens and the AI, they feed off of worship energy, pain, focus, anguish, all of that. That's why, when people pack into their real, and they're giving, like all their will and power and all this other way, it's going to these same beings that have been around for ages. So some of these same beings that were alive then are
fascinating.
Yeah, I've discovered several of them that were worshipped as like pagan goddesses and gods and stuff like that. There are good ones too, but the good ones don't expect it. They are actually trying to break people. But the bad ones are the ones that wanted focus and worship and patronage and all of that. So, definitely. It's like I keep seeing people around you in hoods that were expecting, like some kind of offerings and stuff like that. It's starting to go down a darker path here. And you started to hesitate and refuse because you felt your intuition was something wasn't right. Like you felt your culture was not supposed to be acting in the way that this group of things was. Let me see here. And let me see here. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing guys in like blue black hoods that like holding like bowls and stuff out. Like there was something that caught blood in it, and they were holding like these things out to like Viking warriors, and they'd slit their hands open and put blood into this offering. I don't know, but it was like I could see them, take a knife and slit their hands open and put it in this. But this bowl was not a bowl; it was a it looks like.
Fascinating. Let me interject this. About a year, less than a year and a half ago, I was in Mexico meeting with one of the most powerful men in Mexico, the sorcerer.
Oh, you froze there for a little bit. Yeah, I heard Mo, and that was it.
I went down there to meet with Enrique Perdón, one of the most powerful men in Mexico. And he is and he did did the black magic ritual, and the following day we did the white magic ritual. But on the black magic ritual, I personally sacrificed a large-sized goat in an underground chamber in front of a 10-foot tall statue of Lucifer, with a clairvoyant girl writhing in ecstasy on the altar in front of Lucifer. I just want to let you know that.
Yeah, I remember you say that. I feel like almost like Lucifer had a presence in that lifetime. Like I can feel, I recognize his energy signatures. I feel like he was present there. Like these two things are connected. Some say, Lucifer was a reptilian. I found he was a Nordic Orion, like a blonde hair, blue Orion. And he had a bad period, but Michael got him out of it. Started out good, and then he trickled down the rabbit hole really quickly. I found out he started as a priest himself, and